During work times like this, Princess Anil stretched out a cold smile as she glanced at the luxurious diamond encrusted wristwatch on her wrist. Why did you come to visit the Bua Palace? I just wanted to stop by and have a brief conversation with Lady Pin. Quacketh has a restless expression. The young white man's ears were now clearly red. He swallowed the viscous saliva with difficulty as he saw that Princess Anil's beautiful face was still adorned with the coldest smile ever. Actually, the Vice Prince and I are scheduled to walk around in Chiang Mai today, but he was called back by the ministry because he was informed there is an urgent and very important task ahead, Princess Anil said, while knocking her beautiful slender fingers down on the white center table rhythmically and contemplating. It seems that brother rushed to the ministry early today. I am. It's such a shame that you're working at the same place as him. The lady offered a faint smile and cast her gaze downward, leaving Prick anxiously observing the situation, her stomach fluttering for reasons she couldn't quite grasp. While my brother seems too busy, unable to take a rest, but a close governor like Khun Kua has the time to wander around, Princess Anil's sharp eyes on Kuaket are intruding. The young man bowed his head before reluctantly saying, I am wrong, ma'am. Your Highness, please forgive me. Pelantita cast a sympathetic glance at the young man before her. She was more accustomed to the image of Lord Quaket, who typically exuded pride and self assurance in his goodness, rather than seeing him sitting with hunched shoulders and bowing in front of Princess Anel like he was now. Why do you have to apologize to me? Princess Anel giggly said, since you have already informed me that you have something to talk about with Kunpin. The princess said with a smooth voice before reaching her face closer to Khun Kua than before. Just say what you need to, Khun Kua. Kunpin is here. But Kuakit's eyes unexpectedly widened to defend against Princess Anil's such words. But what? Or is it something that needs to be discussed one on one? This time, Princess Anil looked at Pelantita, who kept on shaking her head and looking back, wishing to explain her trillion explanations. No, no, that's not it, Your Highness. Quackett swallowed a big gulp of saliva down his throat. I just want to invite her to the ministry's club dinner next week, Your Highness. A club dinner? Princess Pro's feathers curiously rising high. Is it a dance party where the dance partners are usually lovers or couples? Uh, Quacketh is stunned. What are you with Kunpin? Kunkua? At this time, Princess Anil's brow frowned. How dare you invite Pin out like this? No, Your Highness. I just thought that Lady Pin might want to join me at the dancing party. Quacketh can only utter these words, then keep his head down and avoid Princess Anil's eyes that had already begun to appear a little angry. Kunpin, do you want to go to the dance party? Princess Anil turned her head to ask the person next to her, who was biting her lips tightly. I don't want to go. I never said I wanted to go. Pelantita's answer made Quacket's face pale. Currently, only Prick has sympathy towards Khun Kua. Anyway, keep on trying, Khun Kua. Her beautiful full colored lips are smiling and showing off her dimples on her soft cheek. This time, Kunpin doesn't want to. Maybe next time she might comply. Water drips down the stone every day. What happened to the stone, Prick? Princess Anil turned to Prick, who was seated neatly beside her leg. Water drips down the stone every day. Nothing happens to the stone. Because it seems the water has dried up first, my lady. And the servant and overlord smirked to each other in front of his eyes, so Quacket couldn't help but feel humiliated. Is that all you have to say to Kunpan? Yes, Your Highness. Quacket must answer that, without a choice. Then let's have a cake and tea together first. Princess Anil's voice was extremely gentle, yet tiny grains of sweat filled Quacket's palm. So, you come to hide over here, Your Highness? While Quacket is sitting there, with a bad expression on his face, Pranot's cheerful voice suddenly popped up in time. The tall, thin body walked with a big smile into the tea hall with a familiar and friendly attitude. What day is it today? Why is there such a wrong place, wrong time like this? Prick could only ponder this in her mind as she quickly moved to escort Pranot to seat in the pavilion, displaying her exceptional service. Hello, Khun Kua, Your Highness. Pranot smiled playfully as he bowed his hand and waited for Princess Anil's hand to kiss her as usual. But this time, Princess Anil hurried to hide her hands behind her slender waist. You can't do that, Pranot. This is Thailand. The lady snorted, looking at the angry face of Lady Pen in anxiety. Then I can wait until we are there. Pranot erupted in laughter, closing his eyes with amusement. Unaware, he failed to notice the somber expression in Lady Pelantita's eyes. What makes you come here? Said Princess Anil, inviting him to sit down beside Lord Quacket, who had been sitting motionless for a while. Let's have a tea and the cake that Kunpin made together. I just missed you, so I came by. Pranot lifted his hot tea and took a sip with a relaxed expression, like a good natured young man, with the same mannerisms as before. I stopped by the other day, but your highness went to Chiang Mai. Pelantita's face twitches when she hears Pranot's words. I just missed you, with her ears. I went to Uncle Chakam's funeral, Khun Yong's father. I have heard the same thing, Your Highness. Khun Yong must be very sad, the young man said as he scooped up the chocolate cake before giving Pelantita a thumbs up in admiration. But Lady Pin simply nodded in acceptance. Grief is natural. Are you enjoying the cake, Pranot? Princess Anil deliberately steered the conversation away from the topic of Lady Engfa, showing her deep concern for Lady Pelantita. I like it, my highness. Khunpin is so skilled. Pranot smiled broadly and sincerely until Quacket began to feel more relaxed. The lady's skill is good, both at Thai desserts and foreign desserts. Khun Pranot? Lord Quacket's voice carried an air of pride, as if he considered Lady Pelantita to be his possession. This chocolate cake should have come from the book I brought to you, right? Rick's eyes widened upon hearing the conversation about a topic that both she and the lady had been guarding as a secret. Meanwhile, Lady Pelantita remained seated, seemingly unaffected by the words, as if the conversation were merely a passing breeze. I think you must have misunderstood. This cake is usually the recipe of Mechon, the cook of my brother's Horadi palace. Princess Anil interrupted the discussion in frustration and deemed the possibility of Lady Pen using his recipe for the cake as a minor issue that could be disregarded. However, the self serving bias in Khun Kua's words was something she couldn't tolerate, even for a moment. I, Quacket said in a subdued tone, realizing that today wouldn't be the day for him to articulate any words that made much sense at all. In fact, I have business with Princess Anil. An uninformed person spoke up in the middle of the conversation. What is it about, Pranot? I would like to know your schedule to return to England, Princess Anil, he said, raising a glass of hot tea and taking a sip with no trouble. That's the opposite of Pelantita's scorching heart. The girl's face is pale, completely pale. I will return on the same day as yours. Pranot smiled, as broadly as ever. Your university will almost start. Let's leave early next month, shall we? Princess Anil stretched out as she looked at the young man in front of her. For the first time, Princess Anil wanted to lift her hand and hit Pranot's lips several times. For the next time, Pranot should know how to keep his mouth shut. That's it for this chapter, guys, and I see you soon with new chapter of Loyalpin Volume 1. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. It really helps support the channel and keep me motivated. Thank you.